EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present second round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational.
There's something about a well-hit shot.
Frank, they say you have to ride the wind. Boy, he got a momentum swing here, Frank.
Yeah, one more good swing, and he's going to have an eagle putt coming up. I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but there's well on the cards. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Big swing right there, and a great result. And now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. Locked in on the read and the speed. Putting on a show, this tournament leads to 15 under par. Here at the par 4, 445-yard second hole. Severe dogleg to the left. What's the best play here, Frank?
Well, that tee shot, Rich, is so intimidating, so you don't necessarily have to hit driver. Club decision is probably going to be important here, because if you hit driver, you've got to take it down over that left side, all over the canyon area. So if you hit 3-wood, you can play a slightly more conservative tee shot, but it is going to leave you a longer second shot to a green that's well protected on the right side by bunkers. But really, you know, if the wind's not blowing, this is a really good, fun hole to play. Look at the vistas.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Just a couple of feet. Frank, this is the kind of start every player wants.
Yeah, swinging it well. Certainly hit the ball in the right place there, and yep, good thing too. He's actually putting well.
All right, Frank, describe the third hole.
Well, it's a par 3 with a bit of a tabletop green, Rich. Some bunkers right and left of that, but also it's going to play a little bit further. This tee shot is uphill, unlike the opening 2 holes. So a 3 here, and that certainly won't hurt the scorecard. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Here at the 4th, 383 yards from the back tee, it's a dogleg right. But Frank, looking at all of those bunkers, you could really make a mess of this hole if you stray.
You can. That's why you've got to simplify it. Just something there that's going to find the fairway. Even like 3-wood and a wedge, that's really all this hole's going to require. Avoid the canyons on the left and in the desert, as well as just, I don't know how many bunkers there is on the right side. So a little bit of fairway up the left, find that there, and really you should be looking at a birdie putt.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie.
Now, just when you thought they might pick up one, now settle for a par.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Now to the par 5 fifth hole. Cut it over the ridge here, Frank?
Well, if you can, if you dare. And there is actually a stream here. I know we're in the middle of a desert, but if you can clear that stream, that's the main thing. This is a crazy-looking tee shot because it looks like you want to go down that left, down that canyon area, but if you don't know the exact distance you fly the ball, then you're going to be in lots and lots of problems. Those collection of 3 bunkers down the right side, as long as you can avoid that, then that second shot to this par 5, that's not overly long, it's just under 500 yards, is certainly reachable. Second shot will play uphill to an elevated green with, once again, 3 different levels.
Well, couldn't have done much better than that, and the eagle is looking very likely now. just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot played just a fraction uphill. And this green, it's got more humps and hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
Superb shot once again, and only about 15 feet away for a birdie. Once considered the best PGA teaching pro in the country, our featured golfer makes birdie and now sits comfortably inside the cut line. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank, I really like this hole, the par 3/8 here at Wolf Creek.
It measures just under 250 yards. Really what you want to know is, though, is the yardage just to the front edge of the green. Anything, obviously, that carries sort of 5 or 6 paces on there, then at least you've got a relatively big green to hit at. But you can see the trouble that surrounds short and left of this green, as well as just over the back.
So that ball nestles down in the rough. Just got away a little bit on that tee ball. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Oh, without a doubt, that will be on the highlight reel later tonight. Excellent shot. Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over it. And longer hitters could nearly drive it in the green side bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing desert golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. And chance, too, to have a little birdie at the end of your front 9.
Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. A good effort, a good par putt. Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
Back 9. Frank, what do we have on this approach shot?
One of the longer second shots at Wolf Creek here at 10, and really, if the flag is back right, that's when you're going to have to be careful, because the second shot's going to have to be struck perfectly to avoid that pop bunker on the right, as well as not run over the back of the screen. Anything on the left side of the screen, though, you can pitch it towards the middle. It should kick a little bit towards the left, but left side of the green is like green light, and you've got to be a little careful when the flag's on the right.
Good putt. Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around it. A good shot safely on the putting surface here. And this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching two tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Now to the par 5 12, pretty big hole with a really big green.
And a really good blue area to the left, called water there. That's to be avoided off this tee, that's for sure. A good drive that avoids all of that. But then the hole is certainly reachable, but as you can see, water creeps in again, back right on this hole. So just don't get too cavalier here. A 5 wouldn't be the worst score. I know you want better, but believe me, seen many a 6s and 7s racked up here at 12. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. He's made it. Par 5 12, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable in 2. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back.
What a display of power and precision off the tee. On the green here on the par 4 in 1. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Makes the putt for a birdie. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards. What a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's where you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
That was just a beautiful drive. They hit it solid and right in the middle. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
That is classy.
Well, a chance of going in.
This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Really solid stroke.
Here at the 15th hole here at Wolf Creek, bit of a breather here. Nice, short par 3. You don't want to miss this green.
No, that's the temptation there. If you try and bite off a little too much because it looks a little too easy, then a bogey here and you're in a bad mood all of a sudden at Wolf Creek.
Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. So just a formality here. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye here. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green. Even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there. And before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here. And it should sit up nicely for a birdie.
That will be a great look at birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his middle.
Just 5 feet left.
Just dwindling the holes down. Pars are fine right now. Left tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. It's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's sort of around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Right, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a two-shotter. If you find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that third shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that second shot on.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And he's made the green. That's good work. That's a good par right there. So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present third round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. They'll be happy with that in the fairway, and now a good chance to attack this hole. Frank, what does the shot into this first green look like?
Well, it's back a little bit up the hill. Bunkers left and right, really the biggest concern. But a well-flighted shot to this three-level green will be well rewarded.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Safely aboard. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in. Virtually no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
Ready to tee off here at the second hole. Quite a view from up here, Frank.
Once again, big elevated tee. And it's hard to imagine you have a tee that high up, but that'll shorten that 445 yards. Obviously, it's a dog leg left. You've got to be careful if you hit driver and two straight because then you can run out. A nice tee shot in the middle there, and then you've got a relatively straight shot into this sort of par 4 green. Obviously, when he goes after it like he is here. Smoked that one.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Count that for a birdie. Now on to the first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see, by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark.
Cannot hide the flagstick from that man inside of 5 feet. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
That's the idea. Just knock it in. Back to the tee here at Wolf Creek. A lot of sand along the right side of this fairway leading up to the green, Frank.
Yeah, I can't even count how many bunkers they got down that right side. It's easy to see. Really, it's just a short pitch across. Yeah, this hole's only 383 yards. And it won't even really play its distance. But, of course, you've got to be careful. It's not long, but fairway first once again here. You can see all the problems around there if you do miss this fairway.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now to the par 5 fifth hole. Cut it over the ridge here, Frank?
Well, if you can, if you dare. And there is actually a stream here. I know we're in the middle of a desert, but if you can clear that stream, that's the main thing. This is a crazy-looking tee shot because it looks like you want to go down that canyon area, but if you don't know the exact distance you fly the ball, then you're going to be in lots and lots of problems. Those collection of 3 bunkers down the right side, as long as you can avoid that, then that second shot to this par 5, that's not overly long, it's just under 500 yards, is certainly reachable. Second shot will play uphill. to a elevated green with, once again, 3 different levels.
Well, that was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. You like that right there, Frank?
Beautiful lag putt. Great pace.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card. Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, well, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot played just a fraction uphill. And this green, well, it's got more humps than hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Frank, a very short par 4 here at the 7th, but not one you're going to try to hit off the tee?
No, unless you can fly the ball sort of 300 yards on the nose and stop it within sort of 5 or 6 yards, it's really too risky. This green is not very deep, just sort of 10 or 15 yards in depth. It's just a layup hole, but layup hole it simply doesn't mean grab a club and hit it down the fairway. The best way to play it is to try and hit the ball right on the number. And what I mean by number, I mean the full shot yardage for your second shot, even if that only is a sand iron.
Just misses. Frank, he had to make a run at that one.
Oh, yeah, good effort. Let's see if he can make birdie, but to put an eagle on the scorecard, what that would have meant to him.
That's how you keep a round going. Make them from that distance. Frank, the 8th here at Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada is really the signature par 3, isn't it?
I'd go so far, Rich, to say this is a great par 3. Doesn't matter where it was played. The stream that sort of comes all the way down there and surrounds the left side of the screen makes this hole really daunting. Logic would say if you're going to miss the screen, obviously you'd miss it to the right, but it's just a beautiful hole. And then you put the fact that the canyon frames the whole hole itself. It's beautiful.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way.
I don't know what they were looking at.
So a tester from 4 feet. No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Finishing up this front side here at the par 4 9th, 390 yards. And what are we looking at, Frank?
Well, it looks relatively straightforward, but it's anything other than that. Decision time again. Do you lay it up into that wide area of the fairway? If you're a longer hitter and you are out here to have a little bit of fun, then maybe you want to take the head cover off because you get a little bit of an advantage if you can drive it over that last bunk on that right side, or at least take that out of play, because you're only going to have a short pitch in here.
That was just a beautiful drive and hit it solid and right in the middle. Frank, as we look at the approach here at the 9th, what do you think the best play is?
Well, unless you've laid up off the tee, Rich, you're only going to have a short shot into this green. You don't have to loft it too high. You can use the full length of the green. So something coming in a little bit lower and bouncing towards the flag is probably the best play.
Frank, we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back 9, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Good swing, good shot yet again. And another green in regulation. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Score that a birdie. We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself. Try not to look at the canyon and the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Par 5, 12th, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable into. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back. Second shot.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Right in the heart. Thirteenth hole here at Wolf Creek, and Frank, anyone can say, oh, I'm going to take this one over the trees. But very few can stand up and say, I'm flying this baby clear over the mountains.
Yeah, if you take the direct route, obviously it's going to be much shorter than the 350 yards that it's measured as a dogleg right. So the direct line, well, I don't want to tell you the exact yards because it might give you too much of a clue, but it might be worth taking. It's going to be a blind tee shot, though, and you're not quite sure on the outcome.
That is just an outstanding shot right there. And now a chance for an eagle. Gimme, but well within his range. And drops it in. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. This is a good-looking shot. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? That has to feel good. That's a birdie. Here at the 15th hole here at Wolf Creek, bit of a breather here. Nice, short par 3. You don't want to miss this green.
No, that's the temptation there. If you try and bite off a little too much because it looks a little too easy, then a bogey here, and you're in a bad mood all of a sudden at Wolf Creek.
Beautiful approach shot there and a good chance to take advantage. Now a 7-footer. From a short par 3 to a short par 4. Just 393 yards here at the 16th, Frank.
And when you stand on this tee, this hole looks anything other than straight. Goes to the left and comes back to the right. But if you can just fixate at the green in the distance, you're actually going to look like a relatively straight par 4. And that's the way the hole should be played. Look at those first 2 bunkers that you see and just try and split those. Good tee shot here and nothing more than a wedge left into this green. Simplify it. That's the key.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey.
Well read.
Now to the 17th, par 5 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club.
Yeah, dogleg left. Tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. It's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's sort of around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button.
That's in the fairway. So a par 5 late in the round, Frank, you want to take advantage.
And you want to take the risk too. A good tee shot that's within reach. It's too tempting not to go for this green. It's big enough, but obviously you really got to try and forget all the trouble in front and around the right side of this green and perhaps even long. But a par 5 that's reachable, especially this late in the round, who wouldn't want to have a go at this?
Finishing hole here at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really, a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 170 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
Close. Couldn't ask for much more on that putt.
It's no snack, though.
Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Getting set now over the putt. That's a solid par putt. And that wraps up the 3rd round. Just one more to go before we crown our champion.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm looking at my crystal ball, Rich, but that champion that we see tomorrow might be the one just sitting at the leaderboard on top of it right now.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present final round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that? Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. A sensational shot right there, Frank.
Oh, you start beating your chest after a shot like that. That's the best we've seen into this hole today. And a great start.
Ready to tee off here at the second hole. Quite a view from up here, Frank.
Once again, big elevated tee. It's hard to imagine you have a tee that high up, but that'll shorten that 445 yards. Obviously, it's a dog leg left. You've got to be careful if you hit driver and two straight, because then you can run out. A nice tee shot in the middle there, and then you've got a relatively straight shot into this sort of par 4 green, obviously going a little bit back up the hill. And once again, a little bit like that opening hole, sort of different tiers on that green. Try and make sure that you're on the right one. Should be safely on deck.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Now on to the third, first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark.
This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday, and trying for another one today. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Has his par. Back to the tee here at Wolf Creek. A lot of sand along the right side of this fairway leading up to the green, Frank.
Oh, he's winding this one up. Doesn't have the power, though.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
This would give him the par.
Just dwindling the holes down. Pars are fine right now.
How about this hole, Frank? Par 5, 5th.
If you stand on this tee for the first time, you've got virtually no idea where you've got to aim. Do you aim it left of those bunkers? Do you aim it over the sort of the canyon? Really, the answer is how far do you hit it? Because that is going to determine the line that you hit it on. Avoid the water, that little stream. You can always have a drink on the way if you want to, I guess. Second shot plays uphill, but this is a relatively short par 5, so very reachable. But you've got to see, you've got to flight that second shot. You want to make sure that ball's coming in nice and high to this green that's perched up. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every...
Here, par 5. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, standing on the 6th tee and looking out at this golf course, I can't help but think that if you hit it offline here, you're going to be playing golf with the billy goats.
Yeah, you might actually turn into a billy goat come the end of the day, that's for sure. The huge elevation changes, once again, are apparent here at the 6th. It is a dogleg to the right, not really a driver unless you want to sort of bring that creek into play or that little stream that cuts across. Second shot, a little bit uphill. Those bunkers are really where you shouldn't go, we all know that. And this green is anything other than flat. A fun-looking hole, too, and a fun hole to play.
Well, I'm reminded of what an old caddy used to say about the great Lanny Watkins when he was on fire. You can't hide the flagstick from that man. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Well, everybody loves the short par 4, and here we have one, Frank, just 302 yards, the 7th hole.
And this hole is anything other than straightforward, Rich. Huge drop off at the front of this green that is surrounded by water. So it's going to be a layup off the tee, really, to try and get the right yardage. This green is very, it's not very deep, but it's extremely wide. The hardest thing is to try and get a flat lie with whatever club you decide to hit off the tee and get the right yardage. Otherwise, that green actually might be a little elusive, even though this is a very short hole.
Settles in over the putt.
How did that not go in?
So the eagle goes begging. He still has this for birdie. So a tester from 4 feet. You'll love them, the birdies, and that's another one. Frank, the par 3/8 really is Wolf Creek in a nutshell. It's hard, and it's really pretty.
It is, and it's really long, too. Just under 250 yards off that back tee. Slight bit of elevation, but you can see from the tee, obviously, where you don't want to go and where you do go. If you're a little, tender...
In the water, too bad. So this will be the 3rd shot after taking the drop with the ball going in the water. 3rd shot, looking for a good one. Not quite where he was aiming, but still enough room to get it up and down.
Really? This is an awkward length.
I don't know, maybe lifted right there, just sort of peaked.
Fortunately, all those shots in hand, that double bogey should be erased.
Finishing up this front side here at the par 4 9th, 390 yards. And what are we looking at, Frank?
Well, it looks relatively straightforward, but it's anything other than that. Decision time again. Do you lay it up into that wide area of the fairway? If you're a longer hitter and you are out here to have a little bit of fun, then maybe you want to take the head cover off because you get a little bit of an advantage if you can drive it over that last bunker on that right side, or at least take that out of play, because you're only going to have a short pitch in here.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Frank, as we look at the approach here at the 9th, what do you think the best play is?
Well, unless you've laid up off the tee, Rich, you're only going to have a short shot into this green. You don't have to loft it too high. You can use the full length of the green. So something coming in a little bit lower and bouncing towards the flag is probably the best play.
So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching 2 tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
In the fairway here at the 10th, a nice way to start off the back 9. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. Birdie try again here today. This can be a cruel game at times. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. And getting ready for the putt. Good, solid par right there. Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around it. A good shot safely on the putting surface here, and this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now to the par 5, 12. Pretty big hole with a really big green.
And a really good blue area to the left, called water there. That's to be avoided off this tee, that's for sure. A good drive that avoids all of that. Then the hole is certainly reachable, but as you can see, water creeps in again, back right on this hole. So just don't get too cavalier here. A 5 wouldn't be the worst score. I know you want better, but believe me, seen many a 6s and 7s racked up here at 12.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. This is a good-looking shot. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. These putts keep the round together. What a tremendous display of golf this has been. Now to the 13th hole, and, oh, I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill, but if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. That's a head scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Now to the 14th hole, and Frank, this is probably the best par 4 here at Wolf Creek.
It's certainly the hole that they take the most photographs on, Rich, and you can see why. Great vantage point of the whole golf course. The hole's just sort of littered with bunkers down the left side, so you know where not to go once again. Go to the right side of that. Hole just keeps sort of hooking around that left side. It plays under 450 yards. It's fun. Just sort of draw it a little off the tee, draw it a little into the green, and you'll be fine.
Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Oh, man, just slides by. And only a tap in left. Good putt. Trying to stay steady, make a par. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down on those bunkers, because they're a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag?
That is classy.
They had a chance of going in.
Good putt. Now to the 16th hole as we get set for the finishing stretch. And Frank, what's the best way to play this relatively short par 4?
Somehow you've got to straighten the hole up in your mind's eye, Rich. Just look all the way across that canyon and look like the hole was built straight, because really that's the way it should be played. If you start looking left and turning it into a dog leg, then all of a sudden bad things can happen. So look straight at the green. That's your line. Just try and bisect those 2 fairway bunkers. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. It's no snack, though.
just misses. He'd settle for par here. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this to lay up, leaving that third shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that second shot on.
Here we go. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Not a gimme, but well within his range. He's made it. So 2 holes left to play. Now the final par 5 on the course, 562 yards, the 17th.
The drive looks relatively straightforward, and I say that because there's a little creek down there that obviously you have to stay short of. But that's the fun part. They want to keep you back in an area where you go, can I hit the second shot across the stream, across the water, and still keep it on the green? And the answer is,
I mean, that is a sight to behold. What a spectacular shot we just saw on the par 4 with a drive in 1. Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
This for the victory at the EA Sports Spring Invitational. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Just a fantastic week of golf. Add that one to the win count.
A lot of great quality players out there, and to come on top of that leaderboard is truly a great accomplishment.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live first-round coverage of the Boston Championship. What a spectacular shot that was. He'll have a look at Eagle. Shouldn't be a problem here. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Well, the time is now to start making birdies, and there we go. One on the board and suddenly inside the top 20.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of in that, but really, you've got to be aggressive from here on in.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Frankie could make Eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And, Rich, if we just sit back and relax here, I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at Eagle coming up.
Couldn't have done much better than that. Eagle is very possible. Moves into the top 20 after an eagle. Now to the third hole. It's a par 3. What are we looking at, Frank?
Well, really, just keep your eyes away from that bunker on the right. That sort of snags many a golf ball.
And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time, that one gets him in the top 10.
Frank, at 298 yards, the fourth is reachable for just about every professional. What might scare them off?
Well, that bunker on the left, that's really actually a chance to showcase your skills. And that's where you realize how much better professional golfers are. A good bunker play, especially on a hole like 4, and then you will get well rewarded.
This is a great place for a fan to watch, isn't it?
It is. You see so many different short shots around this green. The bunker shots from the left side, if you hit it over the back on the right, the little bump and run through the little valley in the green. Fun hole to watch.
Perfectly placed tee shot will set up an eagle opportunity, but then you see quite a few bogeys made here as well.
Yeah, if you stray a little bit, leave the ball too far short, and you have to play that pitch across the bunker, that's no fun.
Fifth hole, and we pick up the action. Frank, you have to be impressed with what you've seen from the golfer so far
on a day like today.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, the TPC Boston really starts to show its teeth here in the fifth hole.
Yeah, beautiful hole. That green up ahead, though, there's 3 different sections. Obviously, the easy section is that middle one where it just pokes out to the left.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Settles in over the putt. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. All right, Frank, now to the sixth hole. It's a 465-yard par 4. What are the keys?
Well, it's framed beautifully by the trees just in front of the tee, so you know exactly where you're trying to go down there. 2 little bunkers on the right if you stray a little right, and if you stray a little left, you might just make it to the water.
That is a fantastic long shot.
There's no way he could hit that without a tail breeze. Surely that breeze had to help there.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Birdie try up next. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll. That was a good run at it, Rich.
These putts keep the round together.
Just dwindling the holes down. Piles are fine right now.
Seventh hole, Frank, is a muscular par 5, 600 yards. What's the way to play it?
He's loading up on it.
Look at the coil there. And that ball is absolutely scorched. Just hit a seed out there.
Oh, huge.
Woo-hoo.
Huge with a capital H.
Busted that. Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Headed for the bunker? Not his best shot, and now he'll have to deal with a bunker.
Yeah, they say the hardest shot in golf, the next one.
So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, who knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. This will be a 14-foot putt here. Wow, I thought he made that.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Hole number 9, Frank, 472 yards. Good par 4.
Yeah, if you blink, it'll catch you.
He has put himself in an excellent position with a beautiful tee shot. And now a good look at the green. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Continuing to play outstanding golf. 9 under par for the tournament with the birdie. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
Well, now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
That's how you play the game. Right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Frank, like all TPC golf courses, TPC Boston has the fan in mind. So you see those mounds throughout the golf course that gives people a chance to just sit, relax, and watch some golf. And there's a nice shady spot on the hill behind the 11.
Yeah, that's just before the 12th tee, and you really do get a look at the tee shots coming in the left.
This is all over it. Dude, he just made an ace. Frank, the 12th looks to be a pretty straightforward par 4.
Just bends to the left. There's a big sort of crop of mounds on that right side. If you can just go a little left of those, you get a nice kick forward.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Just a couple of feet. Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. Ball's teed up at the par 4 13th.
And you want to keep that ball in the air as much as you can. Carry that air on the left side. That's a big tee shot, somewhere in that sort of 300-yard mark.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here. This looks like it's going to find the target.
On the green in regulation. Knocking down all the shots today, now at 13 under. Frank, the 14th, a shortish 495-yard hole.
Only because it's downhill. If you can get that ball running down the fairway, then it certainly sets up a good second shot into this stout par 4.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there and right down Peachtree. This could be a huge momentum swing here, Frank.
Yeah, one more good swing, and he's going to have an eagle putt coming up. I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but it was well on the cards.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. All right, Frank, we're teed up at the 15th, and a lot to talk about with your caddy on this tee shot.
Yeah, which club, which line, series of bunkers down the left. That one short right doesn't really come into play. Another one, really, fairway first.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Second shot, good look at the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank, fishing is a nice sport, just not at this hole.
Yeah, a little left here, you'll be more than fishing, that's for sure. Now, there's a little mound on the right side. It's about twice the size of a coffee table. When the flag's there, you need your best.
Can't hide the flag stick from that man.
Second shot. Great too.
Beautiful. Frank, the 17th here at TPC Boston underwent quite a radical change.
Yeah, that renovation and that redesign that they did, it changed the character of the hole, but they still kept that big mound in the middle of the green. So that second shot is still punishing if you misjudge it.
And players nursing a lead, they might want to think about playing it safe down the right side, but if you're trying to make up some ground, you could try to fly the church pews that divide the fairway into two sections, and that would give you a nice short wedge in.
Yeah, give you a short wedge in, but really the risk, is it worth it?
I mean, really, on top of his game right now, that was a splendid approach shot. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston, this is one of the most exciting finishing holes in golf.
It was changed a couple of years ago, and it's such a better hole now. Two little bunkers right in front of you, 270 yards. But if you want like a litmus test, that one on the right, Bubba Watson can carry that.
Just busted that. 325 yards in the fairway. From a perfect position, ready to play his next shot. How good has the swing tempo been?
Has not lost it since the first hole, Rich. I think that's been the key to the round. Started with that rhythm, even though the winds were out there. The winds haven't abated, and neither has that rhythm.
Beautiful approach shot there, and a good chance to take advantage. And getting ready for the putt. And no problems there.
Well, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston has generated a lot of buzz through the years, hasn't it?
It has, and those changes have just made this finishing hole so much better. The fact that they've narrowed up the front of the green, they've made that left side more severe. Now you can't bail out on the left. If you do, it's an awful little pitch or even a putt up the hill.
The addition of that pot bunker, Frank, how has that changed the hole?
Well, if you stray off the tee or find one of those bunkers with your tee shot, you really have to be aware of exactly the distance that little pot bunker is away. Because if you just sort of whack it out of the bunker and lay it up there, you find the next bunker, then you're in trouble.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Boston Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at the TPC Boston in Massachusetts. Frank, this is a really good-looking golf course.
Fun golf course too, Rich. Starts off with a relatively soft par 4, not very long, and then, of course, the fourth hole. If you remember that on TV, it's a drivable par 4. 5, really. This beautiful dogleg left par 4. I think it's one of the prettiest holes on the golf course. Reminds me of Sunningdale in England. 7's a par 5, 2 good hits, you might be able to get home. Don't talk about the ninth to Phil Mickelson. Never really likes that hole at all. So I made a mess of it over the years. Good finish there at 18, but really, if you want to look at maybe a tough stretch in the back nine, 13, 14. If you make a couple of pars through there, then you've done well.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. The bunkers don't seem to be in play. Rich, I thought he could get this close.
That just is amazing. Just a mind blower right there. Absolutely incredible. He made the shot. Frank, they renovated the par 5 second back in 2010. What'd they do to the hole, and how does it play now?
Well, they changed the green, especially the left side. There's a huge mound there now. It's still a driver off the tee, but before you could bail out on the left side, you can't bail out anymore. It's a devilish of a chip over that mound.
Those chocolate drop mounds give the course a really nice look.
Yeah, they just pop. And you can see them, and you know that they're problematic. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Had a birdie here yesterday in their close. Great opportunity for another one. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the odd occasion we do see back-to-back eagles. But it certainly is something to watch.
Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. No problems early. Looks good.
It does look good. This bodes well. We might be in for a very, very low round today.
Frank, you've talked about this sort of New England feel they gave this golf course when they remodeled it. This is a pretty good example here at the third hole.
Yeah, that stone wall behind just sort of makes the golf course look like it's been there forever. They have tweaked the green a little bit on that left side, created a little bit of a ridge. You can sort of play the ball off that if you know where you're going.
I mean, that's how the game is played. Right? He loves them. Birdie on the card. Here now at the par 4 fourth, and at just 298 yards. That's right, under 300 yards, end of par 4. You thinking about driving the green?
Only the faint of heart won't go for this green.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
No putter, no problem. Slams that into the cup. All right, Frank, now at the fourth hole, this is your chance to flex the muscles. It's a drivable 4.
It is. Well worth the go, but just be careful. If you flare one a little right, just right of those 3 bunkers, there's a little bit of a hazard.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Stroke that with authority. All right, Frank, now to the 6th hole. It's a 465-yard par 4. What are the keys?
Well, it's framed beautifully by the trees just in front of the tee, so you know exactly where you're trying to go down there. 2 little bunkers on the right if you stray a little right, and if you stray a little left, you might just make it to the water. Well, a hard hole after that tee shot has now become an easy hole.
It's the great equalizer. When you can drive the golf ball, Frank, just like that, boy, it opens up so many avenues, and he'll have plenty to choose from here. Looks good. Chance to make a birdie.
Should be safely on deck.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Trying to make yet another birdie. Frankie, just love the variety of holes here at TPC Boston. Now we get to the 7th. It's a 600.
He's loading up on it.
Look at the coil there. That is a heat-seeking missile right there. Wow. How about that T-ball? Not just in the fairway, but way down the fairway.
Yeah, a lot of people can hit it long and crooked. Long and straight, that's the hard one to get. That is absolutely in prime position. He's like cyber vision. Shot after shot, right at the flag.
Just dialed in. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Go ahead and do that. Eagle on the call. Frank, looking at the 8th, par 3 of 213 yards, obviously short, is trouble.
Yeah, that's where it's narrow. Ideally, you want to fly that ball more, sort of at least 10 or 12 yards onto this green, where it starts to widen up.
Like a machine out there. Another green in regulation.
It's no snack, though.
Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Real golfers, by the way, do not eat tuna sandwiches at the turn. Eat a hot dog, right?
Well, yeah, but if you make a mess of 9, then you're making hamburgers.
He has put himself in an excellent position with a beautiful tee shot. And now a good look at the green. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Frank, this is a player in full flight right now.
It looks too easy right now.
Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back 9, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you just got to keep out of your own way.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is. And there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. 11th hole here at TPC Boston. Frank, this is a stout par 3 at 231 yards.
Plays a little bit uphill, and that big gaping bunker just short right. Have to avoid that.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. 12th hole now, looking at 461 yards on this par 4.
It doesn't look like there's much trouble off the tee, and that's because the trouble's with the second shot. That hazard to the right of this green.
Caught that one flush, Frank. That was beautiful.
What was the movie again? Dead, solid, perfect.
All right, this is the second attempt on this hole from 110 yards away. Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Just a couple of feet. You always like that. Count it as a birdie. And another par 4 here at the 13th TPC Boston.
This is a slugger's paradise. Plays much longer than its 450 yards uphill. Big carry with the tee shot. That second shot's not exactly short either.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Just an excellent shot right there. About 5 feet away. Good chance. doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. Back here at the par 4 14th, ready to tee off. This is a big dog leg to the left. 495-yard hole, Frank.
Yeah, don't try and hug that left side too much. There's a bunch of little mounds, and the chances of getting a good lie there, next to none. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. So that ball nestles down in the rough. Just got to weigh a little bit on that tee ball. He'll need to be strong with this. Just a case of the hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, after a couple of par 4s where you just sort of let it go with the driver, different strategy here at the 15th?
Yeah, you don't want to get carried away here. This is one where just a nice smooth swing, get that ball in the fairway. And that second shot, you've got to carry that false front.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
It is in the hole for a birdie. Frank, here at the 16th, you really see this sort of New England character, don't you?
Yeah, that stone wall now protects that sort of two-tiered green. And it sort of showcases the golf course. It just fits in beautifully with what Hans and Faxon have done to the golf course.
Sensational shot right there, Frank.
Oh, you start beating your chest after a shot like that. That's the best we've seen into this hole to date.
Clean this up with a tap. Just 2 holes left to play here at TPC Boston. Frank, we're on to the 17th, and what can you tell me about this 412-yard par 4?
It looks like a dogleg left, but you don't play it that way. Hit it straight down towards that bunker on the right side. Then the second shot's downhill.
Just a perfect drive here at 17. This has left him a good look at this hole. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look and getting ready for the putt. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston. This is one of the most exciting finishing holes in golf.
It was changed a couple of years ago, and it's such a better hole now. 2 little bunkers right in front of you, 270 yards. But if you want like a litmus test, that one on the right, Bubba Watson can carry that. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Necklace over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot. So this is the 3rd shot to the par 5. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Good putt.
Well, Rich, 2 rounds in the books, and it's easy to see why the leaders are on top of that leaderboard.
Excellent performance, but still a long ways to go in this tournament. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Boston Championship. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Strong winds continue to be a factor. Frank, I know you've played all over the world. How much did you enjoy the challenge of playing into a stiff breeze?
Well, it was a chance to separate yourself from the rest of the field, Rich. Just like these conditions we're seeing right now. You've really got to be smart. Pick the right shot. If you get too aggressive on a day like today, you'll pay a far more severe price than normal.
Club selection obviously is crucial.
Oh, it's imperative today.
Take an extra club or two, choke down.
Very much so.
Par 5 second hole, 540 yards. Birdie opportunity, Frank?
Birdie or eagle, but that second shot all the way across water. So you're going to have to hit a good tee shot to go for this par 5 and 2.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag.
Second shot.
Appears to be tracking well. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Yeah, that's a good putt right there. From that distance, he'll settle. And this would be nice. 2 straight birdies. Well, how about this start? Birdie to open the round. Now to the third hole. It's a par 3. What are we looking at, Frank?
Well, really, just keep your eyes away from that bunker on the right. That sort of snags many a golf ball.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Here now with a par 4 fourth, and at just 298 yards. That's right, under 300 yards and a par 4. You thinking about driving the green?
Only the faint of heart won't go for this green. That's an absolute beauty.
Ready for a second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Safely aboard. trying to make yet another birdie. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the cause.
He's made it. Frank, the fifth hole, beefy at 466 yards. What's the best way to attack here?
Well, it's a gentle dogleg left, Rich. That first bunker really doesn't come into play on the right side. The one on the left is the one you've got to be cognizant of. Get something a little right of that, you'll have second shot around 160, 170 yards in.
Good tee shot, right in the short grass. So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Just a couple of feet. This is one of the most challenging holes on the golf course, Frank. 465-yard par 4-6.
It's going for a little extra.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Chance to get it close here. Really some strong winds out there today, and we can already see the effects on some of these shots.
Should be safely on deck.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
This for birdie. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. This is a pretty sizable par 5 here, Frank, the 7th.
But it's reachable. There's some mounds down there. If you keep it down the right side, hopefully that tee shot can kick it a little forward. And then that green, angled at about 45 degrees, very reachable.
Split the fairway with that. Just a gorgeous swing. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
No way! Hold it, Frank.
Great pitch up.
Seventh hole, Frank, is a muscular par 5, 600 yards. What's the way to play it?
Just tee it up and hit it as hard as you can. Get this one on the fairway here, then you've got no problem carrying that huge cross bunker with your second shot.
Throwing darts just inside of 5 feet. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Real golfers, by the way, do not eat tuna sandwiches at the turn. They eat a hot dog, right?
Well, yeah, but if you make a mess of 9, then you're making hamburgers. Rich, that is annihilation of a golf ball.
Absolutely love it. I mean, he just tore that thing to pieces. Oh, come on, that's not even human. That's ridiculous. That is 350-plus yards. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? And he has it for birdie. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back nine, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging while putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. This is a good-looking shot. That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. Not a gimme, but well within his range. So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching two tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Frank here at the 11th. That is a massive bunker guarding the front right side of this green.
And every now and again a tee shot plugs in there, making that second shot just absolutely horrible.
Here we go. That will be a great look at birdie.
Second shot.
Good putt. Twelfth hole now, looking at 461 yards on this par 4.
It doesn't look like there's much trouble off the tee, and that's because the trouble's with the second shot. That hazard to the right of this green.
Now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Getting set now over the putt. Continuing to putt with confidence. Moving on now to the 12th, and Frank, describe this hole for us.
Sneaky good par 4. It's long enough, sort of that 450, 460 mark. Bends a little to the left. Really, you want to be in the middle of fairway here because that second shot with the green just tilting towards the hazard. One of the toughest second shots you have on the golf course. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicklaus over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday, and trying for another one today. Go ahead and do that for birdie. Frank, the 14th, this is a dogleg left, 495 yards. Another case where the driver will set everything up.
But you have to avoid those mounds on the left. They'll just snag your ball.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Frank, earlier in the day, we were talking about how this round was pretty much off the rails. I'm shocked that he's put it back together.
Yeah, he looked early on completely out of it.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Big swing right there, and a great result. And now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. Frank, after a couple of par fours where you just sort of let it go with the driver, different strategy here at the 15th?
Yeah, you don't want to get carried away here. This is one where just a nice smooth swing, get that ball in the fairway. And that second shot, you've got to carry that false front. That club must have melted after that one.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. The bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Moving on to 16 now. This is one where you sort of lick your chops, Frank, because it's pretty short, 161 yards. Where's the challenge here?
Where the fish go. That big lake on the left, that's the challenge.
This could be a good one. See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Frank, almost at the house, but still some work to do. 412-yard par 4 17th.
Yeah, just poke something down that right side. Really, it's the second shot. You've got to worry about that big mound in the middle of the green.
Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that?
Big drive here at 17. This has left him a good look at this hole. Second shot, good look at the green. Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card. Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston, for whatever reason, generates quite a bit of buzz, doesn't it?
It does. The longer hitters, obviously, they lick their chops. They're having a chance to make this green in two. But if you find one of the fairway bunkers, the addition of that pot bunker for the layup, that just makes that decision that much more difficult.
Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there. This looks like it's heading for the bunker.
Well, that ball nestled down just a bit in that heavy rough. He'll need to be strong with this. Wow, what a shot. Doesn't even need the putter. Frank, the par 5 18th here at TPC Boston. This is a chance to be a hero.
Oh, there is. The mere mortals play it down the left side. Everything slopes from left to right. But that bunker, with a puff of breeze behind, if you can carry that, you are one of the longest hitters around.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Boston Championship. That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Looks like he just misread that. Trying to make yet another birdie. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par. Here at the par 5 second hole, just over 540 yards, Frank.
Yeah, keep it to the left of those bunkers. You can play it as a three-shotter if you're not too ambitious. But, well, why not sort of dangle the little hook out there and have a go at it for two?
They'll pay a little bit of a price for missing the fairway here because from that rough, you cannot control the spin on the golf ball. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Just a couple of feet. He's made it. Nice to see a par 5 this early in the round. Gettable, Frank?
Yeah, good tee shot. Certainly a good chance here for going for this for two. But if you stray with that tee shot, be careful on the layup. It gets really narrow up by the green.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Could really use this one. It's for birdie. A great roll right there. Just a pure stroke right in the heart. Here now with a par 4 fourth and at just 298 yards. That's right, under 300 yards and a par 4. You thinking about driving the green?
Only the faint of heart won't go for this green.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Now playing the second here at the par 4. Wow. Nate Siegel makes everybody else look sort of average, Frank.
And look at the size of that lead on the leaderboard now.
Back on the tee here at the 5th, Frank, this one is not drivable.
Oh, that's for sure. Two bunkers. The one that most of the players really worry about is the one down the left side. 300 yards to carry that.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Stuck the follow through right there. This could be really good. Birdie try up next. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Ready now at the 6th. It is a tricky 465-yard par 4.
Yeah, hit it through the chute. Water comes into play a little bit down the left if you're a long hitter.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank, you just love the variety of holes here at TPC Boston. Now we get to the 7th. It's a 600-yard par 5.
It looks straight away, but the problem is if you don't hit a good tee shot, then you really have to be aware of that cross bunker. That is one place you don't want to go with your second shot.
Oh, my goodness. He pumped it, he thumped it, he jumped it. What a drive.
Second shot.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Getting set now over the putt. Count it. It's an eagle. Frank looking at the 8th, par 3 of 213 yards, obviously short, is trouble.
Yeah, that's where it's narrow. Ideally, you want to fly that ball more, sort of at least 10 or 12 yards onto this green, where it starts to widen up.
That's a solid shot here into the 8th hole, and a good chance now for another birdie. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Hole number 9, Frank, 472 yards. Good par 4.
Yeah, if you blink, it'll catch you.
Frank, I don't know about you, but I love a good hot dog and a soda at the turn. Of course, it tastes a lot better after you've made par. How difficult is that proposition here at the 9th?
Well, if you stray with your tee shot here, you'll be making hamburgers, that's for sure.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
So a tester from 4 feet. Frank, we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Frank, here at the 11th, that is a massive bunker guarding the front right side of this green.
And every now and again, a tee shot plugs in there, making that second shot just absolutely horrible.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. And now we'll have this for birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Normally you'd be happy to take 2 from there. What's one going to feel like? Great putt.
12th hole now, looking at 461 yards on this par 4.
It doesn't look like there's much to this green.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there and right down Peachtree. Second shot. Good look at the green. On the green and looking at a birdie opportunity. Birdie try again here today. In the hole and a birdie. On the tee now at another par 4, the 13th. Frank, how do you play it?
Well, it looks like it's a dogleg right, but ideally you want to keep that tee shot down the left, and you don't want to leave any of it behind.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Back here at the par 4 14th, ready to tee off. This is a big dog leg to the left. 495-yard hole, Frank.
Yeah, don't try and hug that left side too much. There's a bunch of little mounds, and the chances of getting a good lie there, next to none. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. So that sets up a tougher second shot. Missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Look out left.
And there's rough over there. That was a little over-ambitious.
Frank, you always talk about it. Don't compound the mistakes. Well, here we are, another shot from the rough.
And this one, no easier than the one he's just hit.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. He's made it. Now at the par 4 15th, what do you think of this hole, Frank?
I love the strategy involved here. It's not just necessarily a driver off the tee. Smart play often comes on top here because it's a second shot hole.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is a tremendous shot right there. Touch, nerve, had it all. And he has the bottom of the barrel. Frank, fishing is a nice sport, just not at this hole.
Yeah, a little left here, you'll be more than fishing, that's for sure. Now, there's a little mound on the right side. It's about twice the size of a coffee table. When the flag's there, you need your best.
Oh, this could be good. See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Frank almost at the house, but still some work to do. 412-yard par 4 17th.
Yeah, just poke something down that right side. Really, it's the second shot. You've got to worry about that big mound in the middle of the green.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
That is classy.
Yeah, a chance of going in.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston. This is one of the most exciting finishing holes in golf.
It was changed a couple of years ago, and it's such a better hole now. Two little bunkers right in front of you, 270 yards. But if you want a litmus test, that one on the right, Bubba Watson can carry that.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee. Well, with a good shot here, Rich. This eagle on the cards, hole very reachable from where he is.
Don't get many opportunities like this. This is a good place to take advantage. Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for Eagle to win the Boston Championship. Just a tremendous week of golf, and that, my friend, is a winner right there.
Yeah, and he should be proud of himself, too. It took golf of the highest quality to beat this high-quality field, and that is something that you will remember for a long, long time.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo set to call all the action here at the Wells Fargo Championship. We are at Quail Hollow. Frank, it is really one of the best courses on tour.
It is a great state of North Carolina where Donna Ross developed so many great courses. They're the sort of courses that we're used to seeing. But this is a relatively new golf course. First opened up in 1961, but it certainly fits in with the North Carolina landscape. Mature trees, holes well cut out, beautiful greens, and interesting finish.
How do you like that finishing stretch? They call it the Green Mile.
Some might think it's purgatory, but I think it's the perfect touch to a great golf course.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Nice birdie to move to 3 under par for the tournament. Frank, a nice mix of opening holes here at Quail Hollow in the Wells Fargo Championship. Pretty short par 3 here at the second.
180-yard shot. Will play more like 175 for the half a club downhill. There's much more green on that right side if you're not too sure what club to hit. And you should stay away from that left side.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Has it for another birdie. 2 holes, 2 birdies. Moving on to the third hole now. It's a par 4, 452 yards.
Big sweeping dogleg left, and the fairway actually goes in the opposite direction of the dogleg. Must hit a good tee shot for two reasons. One, to find the fairway, and also the length of this hole, over 450 yards.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin.
Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
Just a little tap in here. So 2 under early on. For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the fourth. Frank, this is a very nice start to the round. Couple of birdies on the scorecard, looks extremely solid.
Yeah, it looks well poised actually to have a very good round today.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Frank, as we look at the second shot here at the fourth, what's the best chance for a birdie?
A nice high floating second shot would be the ideal go here. Rich just pitching slightly right of the flag, but you cannot afford to miss this green on the right.
Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the Wiley golf instructor makes his birdie. Here we are at the par 5 fifth. It's 570 yards. Frank, this should be reachable for most players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you hit a good tee shot, especially with the draw, it will be. But the hardest part of this is judging that kick on the fairway that kicks the ball to the right. And it sort of turns at that awkward area at where the top of your tee shot range. That's where that dog leg is.
Second shot coming out of the rough here.
This looks like it's heading for the bunker.
Sometimes you get breaks, and he got one right there.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. And he's putting for birdie now.
And yet another birdie, this time inching into the top 5.
Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3 and they might hit 5-iron. It is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron where a lot of us would be with a driver.
Well, you see the advantage of that power on this very hole, not just because of the length they got to hit it, but the green they're heading into. This green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So, yeah, it's a big advantage.
It's a nice birdie right there.
Could not have come at a better time. Third place now.
Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5/7.
In today's game, 530 plus change you think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
We knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect. Right down the middle of the fairway. Well, you can hear it right off the center of the club face. This has a chance to be close. We just saw a player in total control of what he's doing. Didn't miss a green in regulation all day long. How'd you like that one right there? Eagle. Out of nowhere. And into third place. Frank, in modern professional golf, we're seeing more and more drivable par 4s, like the 8 here at Quail Hollow, 350 yards. What do you think of this hole?
It's not a bad hole. Drivable, some might say, but the angle of the green means it's hard for that tee shot to keep on the green. But I think the reward for hitting a driver is try and sort of aim at that tree just left of the green. And the reason why is then you've got to pitch up the direction of the green. This is a really narrow green.
Frank, it's one thing to jumpstart your round. This would ignite the round.
Yeah, you don't normally see two par 5s back-to-back, so the chances of having consecutive eagles is so rare.
Here we are at the 9th hole at Quail Hollow, 495-yard par 4. Frank, it is the longest par 4 on the golf course. Is it, in your estimation, the toughest?
I think the green stops it from being the toughest, Rich, because it does kick in from either side. But when you see holes like this, there's no surprise why the Rory McIlroys and the Ricky Fellas have won around here. This is just a great driving par 4. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's loading up on it.
Look at the coil there. Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah. Smoked that one. Has it come down yet? Not only is it straight, it's mega long.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Good swing, good shot yet again. Well, couldn't have done much better than that, and the eagle is looking very likely now. Shouldn't be a problem here. So close. Oh, man.
He just pushed it.
Well, that hurts. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Well, the great hits just keep coming. Moves to minus 11 on the day. Now to the par 4 11. Frank, what do you think of this hole?
It's an interesting hole, Rich, and I'm curious to see how aggressive players will play here today. The easy way, obviously, is just hit it down the right side and set up a nice second shot with a short iron. Or the most fun way is to take the big stick out and try and bite off as much of that corner as you choose, but be prepared to pay the price should it not come off.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one's slightly downhill. Fairway tilts a little bit to the right. And it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
Steeply up the hill here. This is going to play very long. Early part of this second 9, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
That is classy.
I have a chance of going in. Great too.
Beautiful. Wow, Frank, this is a really good little par 4, isn't it, the 14th?
It is, and this is where one of those strong 3-woods comes in. The last 50 or 60 yards is the ball kicks down and towards the left, and it sounds like an aggressive play, but like a hard 3-wood trying to run it down there is actually not a bad play.
Is it drivable?
It is drivable, but it's whether it's worth the risk.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. Now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
Frank, that is how it's done.
You take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Stroke that with authority. Now as we arrive at the par 5 15th hole here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards, Frank, I think a player has to be thinking about doing what Rory McIlroy did in 2010.
It's the last of the holes that you can really be aggressive on, Rich. So a good drive down here. I'm well aware of the fact that there's water on the left. This is a good chance to make something happen before you play the green mile.
And that's what McIlroy did. Hit a tracer, then a 5-iron, knocked it in for eagle, shot 62, and won for the first time on the PGA Tour. Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
And getting ready for the putt. Good putt. Frank, this is all you want in a par 3, especially late in the round. You have to carry the water. You have to deal with the pressure. At 221 yards, this requires a player's very best.
On the process of elimination, don't go long, don't go left, don't go short, and right is marginal. It doesn't leave you with much.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. It's a big putt right here for birdie. Score that a birdie. Here we are, the 18th hole at Quail Hollow. Simply put, Frank, a player needs to hit maybe his best tee shot of the day.
I would agree with you, Rich. If you were to measure this hole from trees on the left to trees on the right, it's actually a really wide fairway or expansive land. But that creek that just meanders its way through the middle of this hole completely changes the nature of this hole. And consequently, you hit the nail on the head. If you don't hit a good tee shot, you will rack up something here. And I've got no idea how big it would be.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity.
Rich, in that great opportunity, round one.
Good place to be.